Yeah, I can't hide. Y'all can't hide. We can't hide. Y'all can't duck this smoke. Yeah. We did it, y'all. We did it, y'all. Y'all know we did it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? No, we need a little more. We need a little more. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. It had to be done, y'all. It had to be done. It really did. That's not what I wanted to do. All right. Yeah. So I bring to y'all an impromptu pod, man. I bring to y'all impromptu pod. I am Romeo. My man Tretch is out on location getting the scoop from the horse's mouth himself. So he's sitting down with Adam. He's sitting down with Brian right now. And he's gonna bring the story back for us so we can you know what I'm saying, present it to you the right way. But at the same time, I had to react because, like I said in the description for the video, nobody else is talking about this right now. So I have to cover it. You know what I'm saying? LeBron is a Sixer. Let it not be under. All right, first off, this is not another edition of the Tretch and Romeo News Podcast. This is not another edition of that. This is just Romeo popping up on the scene just because y'all need it. Anyway, like I said, Bron is a Sixer. Y'all knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. Tretch knew it was going to happen. He called it. He said it a million times. My niggas done won money off of this shit. Like, it's been so obvious. I almost kind of feel like an asshole just a little bit because I definitely spent like 10 minutes yesterday on my other podcast talking about how Miami was like the perfect fit. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Y'all know me, right? Okay, so basically, here's how it went down, right? I'm at work, you know what I'm saying? I'm chilling at the gig. So, you know, I ain't looking at my phone or whatever. Like, that's not something that I'm in the habit of doing. There's some people who do that, but I'm not one of those people. So I'm not looking at my phone at work. You know, so time is going by. I pop outside to go smoke a stove. You know what I mean? So I'm smoking a stove. I pull my joint out, pause. Speaking of which, I got a good topic that's gonna be all about that next episode. Can't wait to tell y'all. But I go to smoke a stove, so I pull my joint out. You know what I'm saying? I see it. I go to Twitter because I'm checking the notifications because you know we be putting work on. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of people be hating on us and shit. But I go to Twitter and I see the fucking notification. I see LeBron James has signed a deal with Philadelphia. And immediately I'm just like, how the fuck do you spell Charania? Like, what's the is it CHARANIA? Charania. RANI. Is that how it's done? So I'm like double checking and shit. I'm like, that look like it's his name, nigga. So I click it and I see all the like, you know, the officialness of it, like how many people commenting and sharing it and shit. I'm like, damn, this seems real. So I go to and I'm like, this is how I verify shit. I go to the group text because if it's real, niggas are talking about it. So I go to the group text. First off, I thought to myself, why is Tretch not informing me? Like, if Tretch ain't telling me first, then it ain't happen. So I go to the group text and I see the homies reacting to it and shit. I see a couple of different things that niggas said. And I was like, oh shit, so it's real. Let's see, a couple of different things boys was saying. So when it came down to it, Tretch did not break the news. Sorry, Tretch, but it was my man Deeplo that broke the news in the group chat. So Deeplo broke the news, and then my other homie said, unbelievable. I made $200 off those options. That's big money right there. Not that that's big money, but I'm just saying that's crazy. That's crazy. I could go on an hour over that just alone, but that ain't the point. That's not why we're here, guys. Anyway, one man goes, yeah, I made $200 over those options. He shared the pictures or whatever. And then my one man said, yo, that heat leak was a pump fake. And then I said, it's finally over. And then, nigga said, now we going to enter a new level of hell or a new purgatory. And then, that was it. That was our reaction. It was pretty. I feel like the fucking group chat sold me. There was so much hype for this shit. That was very anticlimactic. Like after that, niggas just shared something about Contavious Caldwell Pope, and that was it. That was all we had to say about it. So it's actually funny. It's actually funny how much of a non thing that this thing turned out to be once it finally became a thing. It's ironic. So anyway, I'm like, all right, the group chat sold me. That is what it is. It's cool. But like I said, we all knew it. A whole bunch of people, like once the Warriors was out of it, I remember when they announced it, it was like Warriors, Cavs, and then it was it. And niggas was like, ooh, Miami might be on the table, right? But Miami was like a distant, you know what I'm saying? But it was really Warriors, Cavs. And then all of a sudden one day niggas was like, oh, Mike Gansey called Bron. So Philly is on the table. And that was after we got Jalen. Once we got Jalen, we was on the table. And then 2 days after that, fucking Warriors wasn't on the table. And once that happened, I was like, oh, I know it. This is definite. He's not going back to Cleveland. And then, especially with James, dog, they just paid James. No way he's going back to Cleveland with James. And they paid Donovan. They paid the shit out of Donovan. No way he's going back to fucking Cleveland with James and Donovan, for God's sake. So I was confident, once the Warriors was out, I was like, all right, we got this shit. But then Brian Windhorst said some shit about how he had been on the phone with some high level people in other organizations. And I think he reported in like local Cleveland news or some shit and was like, oh, someone that I spoke to who really knows what the fuck they're talking about just told me that Bron signed a deal in a city other than, it's a done deal. He signed a deal in a city other than Cleveland. And I was like, okay, so if it's not Cleveland and it clearly, Warriors fell out of it, they stopped pursuing him. That only left us. And then all of a sudden, Miami started looming. All these Twitter niggas was talking shit. All these Miami people from Twitter and all these Twitter people from Miami, however you were supposed to put that. I don't know what's more real. I don't know what's more fake. Either way, all these niggas were talking shit. And they was like, yeah, Bron coming back. Then there was that weird ass fiasco with the YouTube page of the media department of the Miami Heat where they put that presser up and they went live, but it was no LeBron and there was no presser. Or they had a timer to go live or some shit like that. That was weird. That was the pump fake my homie was talking about. I think that was probably just to influence the Cauchy on some real shit. That was probably just to sway the poly market. If I'm being honest, for real. Hey, look, you know what that sounded like, but don't judge me. Anyway, like I said, I thought after a while, all this Miami shit kept talking, all these Miami people kept talking. It kind of started making sense in my head. I'm like, well, shit, think about it, bro. He already been there, so he got connections. Like he got connections to the point where he probably still got his home. He got his home. That nigga got a home down there. You know what I'm saying? His kids, if you think about it, may have been somewhat a little bit, I don't know. The older ones maybe a little bit raised in there. I don't know. But whatever. You think about the weather, right? Apparently, according to Rich Paul, golfing was a big factor. There's a lot of great golf courses here, but there's also a lot of great golf courses down there. Shit, Augusta National is way closer to fucking Miami than it is to Philly. I'm just saying. What else? There's just a star power. Like, I'm gonna be honest, man. I love Philly. I love Philly games. I love Sixers. I love that bell when it get rung, you know what I'm saying? When the right motherfuckers be ringing that bell. But I'm gonna be honest, man. Sometimes you don't even be knowing who be ringing that bell. Like, it be random motherfuckers out there ringing that bell, and you be like, yo, who bull? Oh, okay, he the director of operations over at Penn, the university. It's the Ivy League, and that should be like, oh wow, yeah. We have a definite lack of star power. It's usually just AI and Dr. J that show up every night, and I appreciate them for doing that. But that's all we really got for the most part. You go to Miami though, you got Weezy at games and shit. You got Fat Joe at a bunch of games. You got Khaled at games. You got all these random other Miami people that are young, so I don't know who they are anymore. But yeah, you got people at games and shit. You got people who represent. I mean, I don't know who the fucking Miami faithful are because I don't watch them niggas, but they got people. You know what I'm saying? Then what else is there? You know what I'm saying? They don't have Bosch. You know, Bosch. They don't have fucking D Wade. We got D Wade. But did you know what they do got? They got Spo and they got Riles, you know? And that was the thing. I was like, well, that's a connection, you know? That's a huge connection. That nigga had a coming of age over there. That nigga won some chips over there. So why wouldn't you want to go and try to see if you could recreate that same magic under that same, you know, if it worked, you know? And like I said, if you don't want to think about Riles, if you don't want to think about Spo, you know what you could think about. You just think about Giannis. You think about Bam, who just beat Kobe's record just not so long ago. You know, a couple of niggas, arguably, who are in the prime of their careers. Yeah, I mean, so I could absolutely see a couple of different reasons why. And then they would be big as shit. They would be like the fucking Monstars, like the OG Monstars from Space Jam. You remember that shit? Nah, you probably don't. But nigga, they would be big as shit. And you know, besides a good bit of 3-point shooting, which I mean that could be supplemented by a whole bunch of role players, 3-and-D guys. You can make that happen in different ways. But besides like specifically 3-point shooting, they got a lot of shit, man. It's not like Bam can't play D. It's not like fucking Giannis can't play D. It's not like Bron can't play it. He doesn't, but it's not like he can't, you know. And let me see who else is even on their roster. Fuck it, I got time. I ain't sweating it, so I got some time. Heat roster. I mean, you know, post fucking all these weird ass trades. Okay, so they got Simone Fontecchio. They got Jameer Young. They got Myron Gardner. They got Pell Larson. These niggas, man, I don't know who none of these motherfuckers is. I ain't even gonna cap, bro. All right, let me go with the names that I actually fucking recognize. You got Bam. You got Tim Hardaway Jr. You got Davion Mitchell. You got Bobby Portis. You got Giannis. You got Andrew Wiggins. Yeah, no, that's not a team, really. No, them niggas need help. Them niggas need a lot of help. Brown would have still went over there and had work to do. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. If I was him looking at this fucking roster, I definitely would have been like, nah, y'all need like 3 or 4 more fucking pieces on some real shit. Like for real. Yeah. I can't see it. Look, I made the argument last night on the other podcast, but for real, nah, I can't see it. Anyway, he's fucking here. So what does that mean for us, nigga? What does that mean for the Sixers? What does that mean for VJ? Well, I imagine VJ will get some veteran leadership in the locker room. He'll be able to thrive under a system that doesn't require him to, I guess, be under the gun so much, right? Like, I feel like he gained a certain amount of consistency being a catch and shooter. I feel like when we forced him to try to make too many, damn, that was too much. That was dramatic. I feel like when we forced him to try to make too many decisions and have the ball, like when we put too much usage on him, you know, we got to see the rookie in him. You know, we got to see how much development he really needed. So I feel like this next season with LeBron around, I feel like he's not going to be in those positions so often, especially under high stakes situations. So he'll most likely be fed. You know what I mean? He'll get fed the ball. He'll probably be put in really, really good situations as far as matchups are concerned, since we have Jalen and Joe and Maxey and Bron. Like, god damn, bro, this shit is fucked up, bro. I don't even know what that shit gonna look like. But yeah, VJ's obviously gonna have very favorable matchups. So I look forward to that. On the defensive end, he'll actually be able to probably shine, just in the sense that he'll only ever be playing a fucking 1 or 2 at this point. I don't like, you got Jalen. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. So yeah, things will be good. Things will be very good for VJ, I think. And then obviously it can't be understated the fact that, you know, just being able to say you did that, or being that'll give a nigga a certain confidence just going forward, like in his career. He got to see the ceiling. He got to see the ceiling early on. And that's good. That's very good, because you have something, one, to aspire to, and then two, to try to beat. You get to see how likely, or how possible it may or may not be, right? Up close. So yeah, shout out. I absolutely think that VJ is going to gain something here. One thing I was concerned about though was like his minutes, or like I said, his usage. I felt like there was a possibility that it might stunt his development, for him to have a whole bunch less usage. But nah, I don't think it really will. I think what it'll be is, like I said, it'll be in favorable conditions. I think he'll be spared the or the less favorable conditions. Like, they're not just gonna have him out there on no island ice on niggas up, because that's not really, that's not necessary at this point, and that's not necessarily his game. So I'm happy about that. I don't want to force that nigga to be too big too fast. I want him to grow at a really, really comfortable rate. Just like Maxi, right? Fucking exponential. All right, now to Maxi. What does this shit mean for Maxi? Oh my God. All right. So off ball Maxi is probably arguably better than on ball Maxi. I am not should maybe I guess I could get into it. Tyrese Maxey. See, I could have, I could have came prepped with this, but it's okay. The internet is awesome. Okay, so 25-26 NBA season, Tyrese Maxey has shown on-court impact with his shooting efficiency, improving significantly. Okay. Oh man. They're not giving me no advanced stats. Yo, fuck that. I guess I do have to be prepared next time. Okay, well, basically, all I was gonna say was, Maxi, when he is not forced to be your number one option, is actually a better 3-point shooter and a better overall shooter. So, I mean, not to say that he's not good in that role, but just more so to say, I think he'll be able to take a little bit of a rest. His fucking usage over the last 2 or 3 years has been just out of control under Nick Nurse. And I mean, it's been necessary. We haven't had fucking much to depend on. But at the same time, like, I ain't trying to burn this kid out. Like, he's great at what he does, and I want him to be great at that shit for a really, really long time. So I really want him to be able to, one, not play 45 minutes a game. That would be amazing. And then two, when he is on the floor, it would be nice if this nigga could be, do the little Steph thing a little bit, maybe come off a couple screens and shit, maybe fight his way through and get an open shot every once in a while, not necessarily have to ISO niggas up and make these fucking impossible ass teardrop floaters, And like I feel like this season, all I did was watch Maxey make impossible shots. And it's ridiculous that he fucking averaged like 28, 29 on that. But like, dude, I don't want to do that. Like, it's amazing, but I don't want to live and die by that. I don't want to live and die by this nigga fucking making some crazy ass difficult shot that's got no likelihood of going in, but it's gonna go in because he's fucking magical Maxey. And that's cool. I love that. I love seeing it for the show. Cool, but for the chip, nah. We need to get a little bit less of that. We need to have Maxey. Goddamn, I'm sorry, guys. We need to have Maxey chilling in the corner. We need to have Maxey fucking bringing the ball down court and getting rid of it so that he can go get open somewhere. That's what we need Maxey doing on some real shit. So I look forward to what this can bring for Maxey. Now let's move on to no, it's funny because I was working my way up the list, but I honestly don't know who the biggest fucking X factor is. I don't know who the biggest fucking X factor is. Now I know Joe Joe struggles to play off ball. Every time he gets on the court, he is just a motherfucking God, he's a fucking black hole. All that motherfucker does is just grab the ball, try to back a nigga down, shimmy shake, tween, hezzy, 2 or 3 pump fakes, maybe a rip through. If he can catch the foul that way, he'll do it. But if not, elbow jumper, low elbow fade. And you know what? When it's working, it's working. When it's good, it's good. But man, I just don't, like it takes too long to get that shit off. Like I want niggas to be able to score the ball quickly. Like Maxey is the fastest nigga in the league. So the fact that Maxey has to pass the ball to Joe and then wait like a good 8-9 seconds for Joe to actually throw the fucking ball at the rim. Nah, man, that's not what we on. That's not what we trying to do. So I think that Bron, hopefully he can get through to this nigga like in a reasonable fashion, like logically, because Joel, I mean, whether motherfuckers want to believe it or not, and I don't know about y'all motherfuckers, y'all my people, so y'all fans of the game, y'all fans of logic and reason, y'all understand. But most motherfuckers out here, they think that Embiid has absolutely no skills that'll last in the long run. They think that this motherfucker will be out of here this year or next year, and that could happen. I'm not gonna skirt that possibility. But what I would rather say is his skills that could actually help his career transcend the next 3 to 5 years, or at least the duration of that contract, I believe is that elbow jumper. I think he could develop that elbow jumper to be the most dangerous weapon in the league, in a sense. Only in the sense that he has to get that shit off quicker. And if he's already set, like he's basically like a center, right? Who has to, like, you know how niggas be sealing and fighting to go and get that space in the paint? Well, he's fashioned it into a way where he doesn't have to fight to get into the paint. All he has to do is touch the paint and he's fucking automatic. So if that shot can keep being that shot, like I know that it can, and if motherfuckers can feed that, and if he can make a valiant effort of getting that bitch up within about 3 to 4 seconds while still foul baiting the way that he does, nigga, I'm with it. I think that nigga can continue to play and be great. And what could LeBron help him do for that? Well, LeBron could take a whole lot of attention away from him. LeBron could also maybe feed him while he's a little bit deeper in the paint. I'm not sure how that would work. Because this nigga still would have to seal. He would still have to fucking fight. Or maybe LeBron just gets him traded for AD. I don't know. I sincerely do not know. So that's the crazy part. That right there is the X factor for me. Seeing LeBron and Joe play together is fucking, I can't even conceive of it. Jaylen Brown, I don't think Jaylen Brown will have to do very much adjusting at all, because if you really think about it, Jaylen's played with Jason his entire career. So he's always had someone that he could readily defer to if need be. Not that he ever chose to, at least that I didn't see. But he's always had somebody that he could, like, basically chalk it up and go, all right, motherfucker, time for you to do your part. Maxey, there's been very many times where he hasn't had that. VJ's still young. Joe, there's been very many times where he hasn't had that. So, there's times where these guys could get the ball and go, yo, this is all me right now. Like, there's nobody else on the fucking floor but me. And I love that about them, but I also don't think that that's winning basketball. I think ever since, I'd probably say like 2021, we just been ISO ball, man. It was like James, fucking Joel, and Tyrese, right? And then you give Toby the fucking ball, and now this nigga won't put the ball on the floor, and you're like, oh God, what's going on here? So yeah, I want to get away from that. And I think LeBron, he promotes ball movement. He's just a good visionary guy. I also want to hopefully see a situation where we got about maybe 2 or 3 passes before a nigga throws the ball the fuck up. That would be good too. Hopefully LeBron promotes that kind of thing. I think his overall court vision and his overall basketball IQ would just, we'll have to wait and see, right? But I think James, when he was here, James did a hell of a lot for us. It was huge, actually. I think that it was tangible and noticeable, the things that James did to improve Maxey's game, to unlock Embiid. He even unlocked motherfuckers like, Matisse Thybulle, God rest his soul. He was even catching a lob or two. So yeah, I think LeBron is, almost even better. of a passer and almost even better of an offensive threat, so that you have to respect his movement and his passing. So um Jalen Jalen shouldn't have any issues. This should be fucking just a regular old thing for Jalen. Um Now, I mean, what negative things could possibly be, you know, brought about by LeBron choosing Philly? What bad things could possibly be brought about by LeBron choosing Philly? Yeah, but before we get into that, before we get into that, we're gonna take a little break, have an intermission. I appreciate you guys for joining me, and I'm going to try my best to get this music on and take a short break. We'll be right back. Yo, thank you so much for showing me you love me by sticking around. I appreciate y'all. I had to regroup just a little bit, get my shit together. But let me get y'all this little ad read real quick. Yo, yo, yo. You know what today is? Today is the day the king himself packed his bags, left Hollywood, and pulled up to Philly like it's nothing. That's right. LeBron James is a Sixer. And you know what else? Just like LeBron James is undefeated in this city, TRN podcast, baby. That's right. While LeBron's out here chasing ring number 5, we out here chasing something even rarer. Your attention for an hour or 2 or 3 without any skipping ahead. This episode is brought to you by nobody because we don't have sponsors. But if we did, honestly, it would be LeBron. So this episode is not brought to you by LeBron, but it should be, and one day it will be. So sit back, crack open whatever is in your refrigerator, and listen to me talk about the 41-year-old GOAT. Yeah, I probably should have reviewed that shit before I fucking read it. That shit was ass. That shit was so ass. I don't even know why the fuck I did that shit. Anyway, we was about to talk about the negative or the drawbacks from having LeBron come here. I honestly, I think one of the biggest things is just going to be the scrutiny, the media scrutiny from all the national guys. You know, the fuckers that I hate, the Stephen A's and the Cowherds and the fucking Skips and the fucking, even though those fuckers aren't even mainstream anymore. Any of those guys, like honestly, I don't even want to hear Nick Wright talk about fucking LeBron being in Philly, and he's a huge ass fan, so all he's gonna do is fucking glaze all day. But to be honest, I don't want to hear it. I love when other people talk about my Sixers. I love it when all these national guys talk about my Sixers, but that's when the Sixers give them a reason to talk about them. I don't want to hear those guys talk about the Sixers on and fucking like week 12, like game 16 on a Tuesday night. I don't want to hear that. I got true fans that I would listen to hear shit like that. Matter of fact, I would talk about that shit myself and have people listen to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just playing. But realistically though, I sincerely don't like hearing, like, it's kind of like when you get one of those national coverage games, right? And you got fucking what's her ugly face called? Oh fuck, I can't remember her name. Hold on, I gotta plug the charger in. I guess that was for two of this, because I remembered. Anyway, so you got like Doris Burke, right? You got Doris Burke trying to explain who the guy the basketball before he passed board on the fast break. I don't know if that was Justin Edwards. So she just says he, right? And it's so obvious and it's so ugly. And it's like, damn, fuckers, do your research. You make millions. Jesus. Yeah, I don't like watching shit like that. That shit actually disappoints me. So yeah, we're gonna get a lot more of that, a lot more media scrutiny. We're gonna get a lot more people like Windhorst and these fucking NBA insiders, Ramona Shelburne and all of that, talking about our city, talking about our players. Given that Jalen is the kind of player that Jalen is, given LeBron is the kind of player that LeBron is, and by that I mean these guys, they have their own platforms, they do their own media. Given that they're the way they are, all these national media guys do is they speculate or they watch their personal media and they try to detract from that. You know what I mean? They literally put out a false narrative despite what these guys are actually. So, and that's probably going to be frustrating to watch. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Another thing that I think might be slightly negative is, well, Embiid is probably gone. Like, to be honest, okay, you guys ever heard of the GM? LeBron has a big reputation mainly because he has a big history of building his own rosters. That is not an idea I made up. Y'all niggas know that. I mean, I feel like that's pretty much common. I think a lot of people know that that's what he does. I feel like people expect that of him. I feel like when things happen on the roster of a team that he's on, everybody goes, "Why would LeBron do that?" You know. So I think it's almost, like I think it's almost pretty much an established fact that LeBron tampers with his rosters. Do we want that? Is that something we're looking forward to? I mean, Gansey, I remember Gansey. Oh, yeah, I ain't even talk about the Gansey thing, how we knew because of Gansey, bro. I listened to Gansey's opening press conference and it was already like, oh, this nigga cool. Okay, this boy cool. This boy real cool. Like this boy don't see no pressure. This boy he out here just being, you know what I mean? And he's a handsome guy. He's a well-spoken guy. He's tall. You know what I mean? Like he's confident. He was just talking. There was one point on that bitch when somebody, you fuck with Brian or something like that. I remember somebody asked him a question and he answered, Mac, I don't know. It was like, oh, you were number two, or uh, Mike Gansey, you were number two, Mr. Basketball in Cleveland or in the state of Ohio, only to number one, who was LeBron. And then didn't you play with him and shit? And it was like, yeah, I did actually play with him, and I also worked with him on the cast, that type of shit. And it's like they're like, tell us about it. And he's like, well, Bron is a funny guy, and like the way that he talked about him, I could tell that nigga was super familiar, super familiar. So I was like, all right, word, that nigga know him. That's his homie. They cool. They not even just work guys. They cool. He probably hits them up on a regular basis. Like those people in your life where it's like I don't talk to him every time, but I wish I could. And when I do, it feel like I do every time. So yeah, I felt like Mike Gansey had that connection with Bron. He definitely led GM. I don't because of Gansey, I actually have more confidence that Bron will not abuse his influence when it comes to roster building. Now, does that mean Joel won't get traded? I don't fucking know. I don't think that that'll change anything. I really have to just kind of go by the reports that say LeBron really wants to play with AD. LeBron absolutely wants to play with AD. So if LeBron absolutely wants to play with AD, I mean, shit. What else do we have? We just got to give up for him. And it is what it is. I'm not going to do that. I don't believe it, and I'm not going to tell you that I don't support it. I heard it. We'll see how that shit plays out. Do I have any particular feelings about? I mean, we talked about this. Would I take Embiid for AD, knowing that LeBron is already here? Or sorry, other way around. Would I take an AD for Embiid, knowing that LeBron's already here? Yes. And I know that sounds cruel, and it sounds like disloyal, and all the bad things. Like I love Embiid. Like Embiid is definitely in like my top 3 of my entire lifetime as far as how I like watching basketball be played. He's amazing, but he's injury prone. He's over the hill. He doesn't play enough games. He doesn't play defense anymore, and he doesn't rebound anymore. And that's just the facts. It's unfortunate. I wish it weren't so. Nevertheless, tis. So yeah, if he happens to have to get out of here, trucked on out of the city because LeBron is here, I won't feel no feelings about it. I'll root for him in whatever city he plays for. Yeah, and like that doesn't change how I feel about him. It's just how I'm gonna feel about any fucking player, honestly. Because the team is what matters to me most. If the jersey that the player has changes, then that's where my sentiment goes. Great individuals wearing them, John, but And would I like to see Embiid retire a Sixer? Yes. Would I like to see Embiid retire a Sixer more than I would like to see a championship? No. Would I like to see Embiid retire a Sixer more than that's actually a good question. That's actually a good question. Shit. Would I trade Embiid to get to the past the second round? Ah, that's a good question. I might have to workshop that to the nigga that I talk to every day. Damn, Church, what you think? Would you trade Embiid to get past the second round? Fuck. I don't think I would, honestly. That's me. Like, I haven't put too much thought into it. Y'all just saw me real time react. I'm not sure that I would. It's crazy how closed my eyes look when I ain't got damn glasses on. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and lock that answer in. That's my final answer, Reach. I don't think that I would trade Joel Embiid just to get to the third round of the playoffs. I think I would rather have him retire Sixer. I would rather have him be, our guy, showing up to games when he feels like it. Just kind of go out a hero that belongs to us. I would rather have all of that than to just make it to the fucking third round of the playoffs. Yeah, I'm gonna lock that answer in. So yeah, I don't know Joel's fate. I do have my hopes. I hope that he and Led GM get along very well, and I hope that somehow LeBron teaches him how to extend his career in some way. I think that is on the table. LeBron is one of those guys that we know as one of the healthiest fucks that you've ever laid eyes on. He invests $1 million in his body allegedly that I've been hearing my whole life. So apparently, and I mean, he's fucking older than me and he looks great and he obviously functions. So yeah, I mean, is it off the table that he could teach Embiid how to do the same thing? Embiid is like fucking 10 years younger than him. So I hope that he could get a fresh pair of knees on Embiid, like on some real shit, like mind over matter type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, dog, it don't hurt that much. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. You making $30 million in fucking not even a full year, a half a year, motherfucker. It don't hurt that much, right? Like reason with yourself, nigga. Is it, did you get the legacy you want? Like, think about your kid, bro. Are you going to be the person that you, I don't know. I'm just coming up with shit. Anyway. Yeah, Embiid's probably gone. I hope not, though. I sincerely hope not. It's a lot of other randos who just always hated Bron, and now we're going to get those guys hating us. And you know what? Honestly, I'm ready for that. I could put that back in the positive section because on you fuckers, if like on, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm not used to just being me. I'm not used to just being alone and me on this motherfucker. But if any one of you motherfuckers wants to smoke with my new motherfucking point guard, y'all niggas can suck a dick. However, I will say this. Y'all already know niggas don't like us, and y'all already know we don't give a fuck. So if y'all direct any of that hate over in this direction, whether Bron infused or non-Bron infused, we ready for it anyway. We was already loaded and locked. You dig me? You figure deal me? So yeah, bring all that over to Philly because we want that. Like, you know what beef is? We call it a cheesesteak. So yeah, bring that beef over here, bro. We want that. We want all that. You know what smoke is? I know what smoke is. We want all of that. Give us all of that. So yeah, honestly, I think that's a great note to end on. I think that's an interesting conclusion. I appreciate y'all for coming through, checking the boy out. I mean, I apologize the other boy couldn't make it, but he'll be here next time, man. You'll get to see his pretty light skinned face soon enough. I promise. But I'll be good. Y'all keep an eye out on these national media niggas because the hating's going real fast, and I want you to hold these niggas accountable. And niggas like me, we gonna be here for you. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be here every game, every fucking roster move, every trade, every nigga that go down to the G League, every fucking back to back, every road trip. We gonna be here. So until then, y'all, I love y'all, and let's make medicine. Peace.